In the fog, he felt like he was dreaming. He saw a group of two narrow-minded men discussing a house break-in. One man approached her, declaring that it was the end times and the world had abandoned its laws. He pulls up his shirt, insisting that survival is paramount, implying that his intentions are evil. Was this just a dream? The surreal scene made him question reality. The green-eyed girl, speaking enigmatically, said that if she was weak, she needed a strong man. Even she could not understand what was going on. Her memory sharpened, and she remembered being attacked. Desperately, she tried to escape, shouting, "What on earth are you doing?" The attacks were getting more and more brutal. Now, the story shifts to 28 weeks after the world froze. Everything roads, trees, buildings lies under a thick layer of ice, with humans encased within it. In the midst of this frozen landscape, the sound of footsteps echoes through the ice. A man's corpse lies stiff, a reminder of the harsh new reality. A man in rollerblades walked down the narrow path, removing his mask with a sigh. He surveyed the unfamiliar place, observing the frozen landscape. Since the freeze, food has become scarce, and fuel for vehicles is almost impossible to find. The wind blew strongly, exposing the thick layer of ice below, where a city was frozen. He decided to walk on it, feeling that it was quite solid. Moving slowly and carefully, he suddenly felt a tremor. An earthquake had started, causing the ice to crack. The layer underneath began to collapse, and he realized that he was about to fall. It seemed like the gods were testing humans with endless trials. Despite the dire circumstances, he struggled to survive. As he fell, he tried to control his fall, trying to soften the impact when he reached the bottom. Despite her efforts, her descent was far from graceful as she accelerated and plummeted downwards. However, fate smiled upon him, for below him lay snow and not unforgiving blocks of ice, a stroke of luck that probably saved his life. Grateful for his survival, his relief was short-lived as he recalled tales of far greater horrors that lurked in this frozen world. Her fears are very real, for behind the danger of falling, there is a terrifying entity known as the White Man. Now coming face to face with these terrifying creatures, with their numerous eyes and razor-sharp teeth that send chills down her spine, she realizes the true extent of her misfortune. The Whiteskins, who were known to prey on humans, were fixated on him lustfully. Luck, it seemed, was not her ally. As the monster attacked mercilessly, she rushed to dodge its attacks, realizing that luck alone would not be enough. Determined to survive, she muttered, "Luck isn't everything," while running away. Her every move was a desperate attempt to survive against the relentless pursuit of the creature's hunger. As she ran towards a large area, a terrifying presence appeared, the spectral form of an unknown creature. Panic engulfed her as the monster's hands closed in, threatening to capture her. Just as the monster approached, a sharp block of ice cracked and fell from above, crushing the creature under its weight. Luck was indeed on her side once again, sparing her from catastrophe. However, his relief was short-lived as he realized the imminent danger of an avalanche. With dawning horror, he understood that the falling ice blocks signaled a catastrophic avalanche. Before he could react, an avalanche descended, forcing him to flee. However, misfortune struck again as he faced a dangerous obstacle, a flood of avalanche ice and snow hurtling towards him. Desperation drove him to keep running against the unrelenting onslaught of snow, but it seemed that luck was turning against him. The snowfall intensified, threatening to bury him under the weight of the snow, his survival once again hanging in the balance. His body was submerged in snow, only his hands thrashing about to save himself. Then, unexpectedly, the spectral essence of the creature approached his outstretched hand. It began to subtly approach, seemingly merging with the man's body upon contact. As the spirit assimilated with him, his consciousness returned. A wave of unfamiliar energy coursed through his body as he stirred awake. Upon opening his eyes, he was greeted with a confusing sensation. Confusion enveloped his mind. How could she be outside in the snow, when just moments ago, she was buried under it? The blue mark on her neck signaled the presence of a spirit that had merged with her essence. Putting aside the confusion, she focused on the present. Survival trumped comprehension as she decided to move forward from the terrifying ordeal. With a positive outlook, she forged ahead, determined to reach the safety of home. Despite the lingering strangeness, she forged ahead, quickening her pace, eager to leave the terrible ordeal behind. On the way, she came across a chocolate bar. Without hesitation, she picked it up, a small comfort to take home. Although scarce, at least she wouldn't return empty-handed. After a grueling journey, he finally arrived at the human shelter that managed to survive. With most of the city encased in ice, this was his only way home. After making an opening, he lowered himself down with a rope, grateful to still be able to get down. Every day was a battle for survival, uncertainty looming over him like a shadow. Amidst the relentless pursuit of sustenance, death lurks around every corner, a reminder of the dangerous outside world. Inside the shelter, fear grips him tighter than the cold world outside. Among those who have made it through the storm, their intentions remain unclear. The struggle for survival has driven many to desperate measures, cooped up inside buildings. Now, with food supplies dwindling, the future looks even bleaker. The specter of starvation looms over them, looming over their uncertain fate. In the face of such dire circumstances, how far they will survive remains a haunting question. In these uncertain times, deciphering their intentions remained an enigma. No one dared to break through that invisible barrier, worry of what lay beyond. He stepped cautiously, his senses alert to his surroundings. Realizing the absence of patrols, she quickened her pace, eager to get home before dusk fell. Upon reaching the doorstep of his house, he knocked with a coded rhythm, signaling his arrival. To his surprise, his girlfriend immediately opened the door, bypassing the usual lengthy process of unscrewing a few bolts. Suspicion crept into his mind, questioning the ease with which she had accessed the door. "Why did you open the door so quickly? Did you forget to lock it?" she asked, her tone tinged with uncertainty. Instead of answering, she hugged him tightly. Xiaoming, her lover, confessed his longing for her return, explaining that he had been looking forward to her arrival, and immediately unlocked the door. Her cheeks flushed with the warmth of his affectionate words. Despite her happiness, she reminded Xiaoming to remain vigilant and secure the door properly. However, her demeanor changed, her frustration evident as she felt slighted. Tension hangs heavy in the air as they grapple with their emotions, navigating the complexities of their relationship in these turbulent times. Finding a chocolate amidst the icy depths, she gave it to Xiaoming, her discovery from the fall. Still reeling from their earlier exchange, Xiaoming stares at the gift, his emotions still raw. Upon realizing its contents, joy replaced his initial sadness, and he showered his girlfriend with kisses, gratitude flooding his heart. However, the happiness proved fleeting when Xiaoming asked about the other supplies. Learning that there was only one type of food, the sense of unease crept in. His girlfriend's explanation only added to his suspicions. "I almost got eaten by a monster because of that chocolate." "Better eat it quickly," he urged, his words unable to dispel her doubts. Seeing the full contents of her bag, Xiaoming's confidence wavered, doubts swirling in his mind. Feeling betrayed, Xiaoming rushed out of the room, his hurt palpable. Meanwhile, his partner sat by the fireplace, contemplating their predicament. With their food supplies dwindling, she pondered their options. Remembering the seeds he found earlier, he weighed the risks. Should they consume it, Xiaoming had tried to sow the seeds, but uncertainty clouded their growth potential. In the face of uncertainty, their survival hung in the balance, every decision fraught with consequences. With options dwindling, they reluctantly considered consuming the seeds as a last resort. Food scarcity threatened to drive everyone mad, with no other alternative in sight. If only the monster meat wasn't poisonous, it might have prevented famine. Throwing the poisoned meat into the fire, the flames flickered blue, a reminder of their precarious existence in this frozen world. Survival, even in freezing conditions, was considered a stroke of luck. As the clock struck 16:06 on February 14, Valentine's Day slipped his mind. Regretfully, she sought out Xiaoming to apologize for the mistake, but found their home devoid of him. While searching for him, a knock resounded, reminiscent of Xiaoming's signature code. Confused by his absence, she cautiously approaches the door, pondering his whereabouts. Opening the door unwittingly put him in danger as a blunt object struck him hard in the face, leaving him reeling from the unexpected blow. The impact sent him sprawling into the house, blood pouring from his nose. To her surprise, a tall, towering figure with white hair entered, greeting her with Happy Valentine's Day. The resemblance between them and the fleeting dream image that struck her gave the moment an eerie quality. As the man enveloped Xiaoming in a tight hug, she winced, her face covered in blood. In anguish, he questioned the loyalty of his lover, Xiaoming. "Why betray me? Why are you with Lu Delong?" she cried, her voice trembling with hurt. Xiaoming explained his grief, feeling deceived by the single chocolate gift despite his full backpack. In frustration, Xiaoming accused her of hoarding food and rejected her explanation in a sharp tone. "There's no way you're just carrying air in your bag," Xiaoming retorted in an irritated tone. Sensing the tension, Lu Delong prepared for action, requesting a bat from his friend as the situation threatened to escalate. He put down the bat with an air of arrogance as he spoke to Mo, intending to give a warning as a fellow human being. Approaching Mo, he declares the absence of civility in these dire times. Where the law of the jungle prevails, only the strong will survive. Pointing out Mo's weakness, Lu Delong taunts him, insinuating that even his woman left him because of his incompetence. Provoked by Lu Delong's taunts, Mo rallies, determined to assert his strength in the face of adversity. Offering Mo an ultimatum, Lu Delong presented two options: join him as a follower or face death at his hands. Demanding Mo to relinquish his food supplies, Lu Delong prepares to strike after learning of Mo's lack of resources, his patience wearing thin at the refusal to comply. Fear gripped Mo when he realized Lu Delong's intention to attack, even though he hadn't explicitly refused to join their group. Mercilessly, Mo received a relentless barrage of blows, his legs shattered, his face battered, his hands crushed under the merciless assault. Bearing the brunt of the brutality of Lu Delong and his comrades, Mo lay battered and broken, bloodied beyond recognition. His fate seemed sealed, his chances of survival dwindling with each merciless attack. Meanwhile, Lu Delong's group searched Mo's abode, only to find rotten grains instead of the food they were looking for. As Mo teetered on the brink of death, a silent plea echoed in his gaze, acknowledging his own vulnerability in the face of ruthless predation. In his fading consciousness, Mo caught a glimpse of the flash of a knife poised to deliver the final blow, slipping into unconsciousness as it descended. Left in the darkness of uncertainty, he contemplated his mortality, grappling with his inevitable death. "Am I already dead?" he asked, his mind shrouded in despair. "I don't want to face the end," he lamented, longing for a reprieve from the encroaching darkness. In his last moments of consciousness, Mo's whispered plea for life echoed in the void. A heartbreaking plea for salvation amidst the merciless brutality of a hopelessly stricken world. As he teetered on the brink of death, an unexpected source of comfort appeared, the spirit of a blue creature, which exuded a strange sense of contentment. With its ethereal presence, the creature infuses Mo's fading form with its energy, a union that gives birth to something unexpected. Rising from the throes of death, Mo found himself in a quiet office space, his senses tingling with newfound vitality. Blinking his eyes, he was greeted by a soft blue light emanating from within. In a wave of anger and disbelief, Mo's first words echoed in the silent room as he vented his frustrations on Lu Delong. Confusion enveloped his mind as he grappled with the inexplicable events. How could he be alive and whole after facing death? Surveying his surroundings, he peered out the window to see a city untouched by the icy grip of winter. Her realization dawned. She had been given a second chance, resurrected in the short time before the world fell into a freeze.